Goodness to you. It's Sporty King. And hey, welcome. It's time for Glue Wednesday. All right. Okay. Glue Wednesday. And I say goodness, by the way, because I don't know whether you're watching morning, afternoon, or evening. But isn't it great to have good in front of your salutation? Hey, look, I'm trying some new technology here today, or it's not new technology. I'm making a shift in how I use technology. So this is going to be interesting if you've been with us before. But what I'm doing is I think I got it figured out where I can answer in real time, or at least where I can see your comments in real time. So we'll see. We'll see. All right. But again, if this is your first time, and even if it's not, welcome to Glue Wednesday. Glue Wednesday is born out of the fact that so often we hear the cliche hump day, that Wednesday is hump day. But I'm from the old school, and old school, that's where that came, was hump day, because we strictly said, hey, you either work Monday to Friday or you work the weekends. We didn't even talk about the term flex time, even though it obviously existed because there have always been hotels and restaurants and cabs and public transportation, right? So there have always been people who have worked flex time. But so therefore I said Wednesday, we don't need to hump. See, Wednesday's the middle of a 5-day week. Again, that's Monday to Friday. That's the only time you work. But what about the fact that Wednesday is the middle of a traditional 7-day week? Right? It's the day that keeps the weekend and the week beginning together. So I see Wednesday as the glue. Hey, what's up, Judy? Hey, see, I'm seeing in real time now. I hope you're staying on, but it's good to see you like. But yeah, Wednesday is the glue. It's the day that keeps the weekend and the week beginning together. And therefore, with the glue, what you see it does, it puts me right into my favorite position. That is the prayerful mode. And that's why I had glue be Glue. God's love undoes everything. Not that it tears things apart, but whatever is torn apart, God's love will undo that tear and make sure that you have repair so that you can continue to live in the goodness and grace of His mercy. Okay, so we've got less than what? We've got less than 3 minutes for today's message. I always come on early, and if you decide to do a live broadcast, that's one of the things that you want to consider. It's personal choice. Since my broadcast says I come on at 1. All right, what's going on, Roger Carroll? See, look at that. I'm seeing it live. I'm seeing your responses quicker. Okay, I'm continuing to make progress and moving to Charlotte. Okay, well, I'm continuing to have a spot for you when you get here. All right. Okay, so wait a minute, it didn't show up. The Roger Carroll's thing didn't show up. Okay, I'm trying something new here. So let's see if it works. Let's see if it works. Okay. Now I don't see it. Oh, yes I do. Yes I do. Yay! All right. Yeah. Okay, so anyway, we got less than 2 minutes for today's message, and what was I saying? Hey, what's going on, Daphne? Okay, so what was I saying? Glue Wednesday. Okay. Oh, so anyway, so I can't remember what I was saying. So we're gonna just move on. We're not gonna worry about it. All right, we're gonna make sure, because what I wanted to see right then and there is I thought that I should be seeing Roger Carroll's comment. Let me do this because maybe I just don't see it. Oh, y'all know I got less than 2 minutes to see if the new technology is working, because it might be and I just don't. Aha, it is working. Great. I don't see it when it updates, but I see your comments when they come, and so I'm able to click on them and let everybody else see them, and I just don't see them on my new screen. But at least now I'll be able to answer you in real time. Ooh. Keep your fingers crossed, okay? Less than a minute for today's message. Yay! Woo! Hey, I get excited about new technology, and even our topic today is fear. Some people, when people denounce technology, I think that part of it is they're afraid of technology. When in fact, technology, one thing I say about technology, it's always going to need somebody to turn the power switch on. So we don't need to be afraid of technology. We need to keep finding ways to embrace it and recognize that technology is here to be enjoyed and mastered by us, because we are technology's master. So that's what we have to do. So, okay, so let's just remember to not run away from technology, but to run toward it, because that's what our scientists and the people who invent that kind of stuff have done and really made it helpful. So it's 1 o'clock. So let's start today's message. Okay, and here's what I put on the post, as many of you saw. What can I do when I am overcome with fear? How do I find the strength to go on? I will be using these questions for today's glue session, and the message, which is refreshed by fear. Refreshed by fear. And first, I'll start with the end in mind. Okay, because a lot of times when we solve something, we have to start with the end in mind, and the easy answers, which are found in the questions. Okay, what was the question? What can I do when I am overcome with fear? You have to overcome fear. How do I find the strength to go on? You have to find the strength. Yeah, see, those are the easy answers. But again, that's my point. The answer is always the answer is always within, and it's in your question. You just have to look there. So I do this because what we know yet too often is that we tend to practice in retrospect. Okay, and that's what I was saying. Okay, I got ahead of my notes. We know too often what we tend to practice in retrospect. See, in retrospect, we say the answer is within. But the truth is, we know that, so we've got to get to where we get that answer in the moment when that challenge is upon us. Okay. Oh, good. And now I'm seeing. Oh, okay. I'm just now realizing that I wasn't looking at some questions. So I see Regina said powerful question. Oh man, y'all know what? I might have to just go back to my regular thing because this thing ain't showing up the way it should on. Now I'm seeing them. Okay, Sporty's back, y'all. Y'all know I don't mind telling you when I'm having a new challenge with technology. I think it's a beautiful thing. So let's go back and just look. That Daphne sent me a great day to me and the family. Yes, welcome family. We're all on here. Regina's back. Thank you. This is her second week in a row. Powerful questions. Yes, they are. And that's what we have to continue to remember, that questions are always powerful because they can either add to something or take away. So that's power. So yeah, remember that. I might make that a topic another time. Daphne said, when making a comment, I'm disconnected. From the live. So technology, huh? Interesting. But I don't know about that, Daphne. I can't help you with that. When making a comment, she gets disconnected from the live feed. So don't make comments, Daphne. No, still make them and come back, and let's see if it's just something that's going on with your technology. After 2 or 3 in a row, just forget about it and don't answer, okay? But I got a spot where I'll need you to put some in there. So we'll see what goes on, Daphne. We'll see. Thank you. All right, so let's go back to the fact that so often the answer is within, but we come up with that answer in retrospect. We come up with that answer in retrospect when we can come up with it in the moment. And that's what we want to find out and be able to do. So we may not know where it's located in the Bible, yet most of us are familiar with the scripture from 2 Timothy 1:7. And it says, for God hath not given us the spirit of fear, but of power and of love and of sound mind. So if we look at the gifts of power and love and a sound mind and see that each of these is what? It's an internal gift. We see that fear is not on the list, and we have to consider that fear's source is external. Yet more importantly, you have to decide to give fear power, love, and you have to allow it to take over your peace of mind. So that's what you don't want to do. Thus, if we look at the synonyms of overcome, what we'll find are conquer, defeat, overthrow, reduce, subdue, and vanquish. So what can you do when you are overcome with fear? Well, after your thoughts have moved, what can you do after your thoughts have moved you to believe that these synonyms are states of being? You find the strength to shift your thinking and position your spirit to seeing them as instead courses of action. You see, you with me on that? So instead of saying, what can I do to overcome fear? Well, we take it from, what can I do to overcome being conquered, feeling defeated, feeling overthrown, reduced, subdued, and vanquished? What can I do to overcome that feeling? Well, we take away from those being states of being and recognize that those are actually courses of action. And what's happening, my twin Babby coming in from New York? Yeah, these are courses of action. In other words, what we have to do is say to ourselves, and let me see who said that. I think Daphne was saying, yes, Regina was saying, great day, great questions. Well, here's the answer. Instead of feeling that those are states of being, let's look at those as courses of action. And what we have to say to ourselves is, I have to conquer. I have to defeat fear. I have to overthrow fear. I have to reduce fear. I have to subdue fear. I have to vanquish my fear. See, don't let them be states of being. Let them be courses of action once you get to that fear, okay? There you go, Regina. Yes, let that be a course of action. And then you can grab onto what you can read in Psalm 46, 1 through 2. God is our refuge and strength, always, not sometimes, always ready to help in times of trouble. So we will not fear, even if earthquakes come and the mountains crumble into the sea. That's Psalm 46, 1 and 2. What I want you to do is go to that track record of storms that each one of us have. What are some of the storms that you've been through? And then build your spiritual fortress. Right now, and Daphne, this is where I say, we'll roll the dice with you. Put something in the thread that you've conquered, defeated, overcome, overthrown, reduced, subdued, or vanquished. And I'm going to stop and wait and see what you put in the thread. And even if you're watching this on tape, still put something in the thread, because what we need to do is see, it's just like the burning bush celebration that people have at New Year's, where you write something down and you put it in the bowl and then you burn it and get rid of it. So let's put those fears, but not the fears as much as the track record of things that we've already defeated in retrospect. Overthrown, reduced, subdued, or vanquished. What you say, Daphne? That's right. Fear must go so I can operate in love. Yeah, what's something that you feared that stopped you from operating in love? Okay, Roger Carroll, I've overcome the fear of being alone. Huge in these days of pandemic survival. Because we have to become comfortable with ourselves to the point where if we are cut off from people, as so many of us are, sometimes the challenge is a lot of people are finding out they don't like themselves. I'm not saying that about you, Roger Carroll, because I know how much your self-confidence, but people are finding out that they don't like themselves. And so therefore, they have to overcome that fear of being alone. That's one part of the fear, not all the way. And there you go, Regina, same with her. See, that's the thing. We have to put these fears in there and see the commonalities, because so often we're looking for the differences in life, and we can be looking at sharing the commonalities. And there's one way of looking at that fear of overcoming being alone, recognizing that God is always with me. So you're never really alone. There may be no other people in the room, and there may be no physical manifestation of God in the room until your eyes. Jesus said their eyes will not see, their ears will not hear. So you have to see and believe that God is there with you. And then suddenly you do have a physical manifestation, because you're seeing God in everything. All right. And hey, what's going on? I'm going to say hi to Kev. What's up, Ferg? Welcome aboard. Still working on dealing with fear. Yeah. Good. And you're about to get rid of that. But here's the key. What did you just say, Ferg? I'm dealing with fear. See, don't ever think that you can extinguish fear. Fear is an emotion, and every emotion is legitimate. So what you have to do is recognize that you are working on dealing with fear, just as you work on dealing with your stress. One of the classes I do with my military family is called Address Your Stress. In other words, don't act like you're not stressed out. Address it. You know what? This is stressing me out. What am I going to do to overcome it? What did we just say? How will I conquer? How will I defeat? That's what you have to do. You have to address it, work on the dealing with it. And Vanessa overcame the fear from walking in faith. Oh, look at God. Y'all know I like to say we can't make this stuff up, right? Because I'm going to have later in the broadcast talking about how important it is to step out in faith, which is walking on faith. But that's something a lot of us are always working on. No matter how much you go to church, you still have to keep working on walking in faith. Oh man, y'all are adding them up. Let's keep going with these. The fear of making mistakes and being judged for it. Yeah, that's coming up. We can't make this stuff up. And see, and again, once we communicate, we find out so many things we have in common. And suddenly, you know what? I've been dealing, what'd you say, Kevin? I've been dealing with this alone. What Regina said, I've been dealing with making mistakes and being judged for it alone. Vanessa said, I've been dealing with walking in faith alone. Roger Carroll said, I've been dealing with being alone until I recognized God was always with me. But I'm saying that to say, once we put these things out there, suddenly you found out, hey, wait a minute. I haven't been alone. Like Roger Carroll said, God is always with me. But guess what? There are also some other people who are with you with that same fear. And I knew you meant being judged, Regina. Okay, you saw me translate that one, right? Okay, and it's coming up. It's coming up, but because God, we cannot make this stuff up. I want to, okay, everybody's got a fear in there. That's great. And again, these are fears, most of them, that you have overcome. And yeah, we got to laugh about it. Yeah. Oh yeah, no. Right. What'd you say last week? I was correcting you. This time, I'm with you. But you know what it is too, Regina? I got my glasses on this year, just this week. Okay, so I got my glasses on so I can really read what y'all putting in there. Because Roger Carroll put such a great thing in there. And it wasn't that I couldn't read it, but once I reread it, so go back to last week's broadcast because I don't remember what it was, but the way she put it in there had dual meaning. And her meaning, once I reread it, was so much more crisp and lovable, okay? I don't know if you remember what it was, Roger Carroll, but that's not important. Go back and look at last week's broadcast, and you'll see the comment that I made to Roger Carroll about what she had put in the thread, and that is what I thought was such a blessing, what she put in there. Okay, so now that we've got some things in the thread, let's keep moving forward, okay? Because that's called the track record. And the reason I call it a track record, because I always say, trust your track record, laugh at your lack record. See, a lack record is when we say, I don't have this. Oh, wait. See, Regina has some laugh emojis in there, Roger Carroll, and I can barely remember yesterday. What was yesterday? You don't need to remember yesterday. Yesterday is gone. So don't worry about that. At least you said barely. You didn't say, I can't remember yesterday. You said, I can barely remember it. So that means you're still in the ball game, Roger Carroll. But anyway, look, this is what I'm saying. Okay, let's keep rolling. All right, oh, this is great. This is great. I'm seeing the comments live. Do y'all feel me answering quicker? I'm feeling it. Very cool. Regina gave us 2 laughs in a row. All right, with the same emojis, 2 laughs in a row. But anyway, here's what we go. Okay, the track record or the lack record first. Are the things that we say we didn't have so that we can make it to thus. I don't have this. I don't have the right education. I'm not the right sex. I'm not the right education. I don't have the right background. I'm the wrong color. See, all of these are lack records. I don't have this, so I can do that. And what we do sometimes is we give credit to that which we don't have. And now, because we've given it credit, it becomes powerful and it remains where it is. Yes, you don't have that. Let's celebrate that. And now you become comfortable with what you don't have. That's your lack record. But when you overcome that, look at that, what Karen said. Don't put limits on yourself. The lack record is the limit record as well. Thank you, Karen. Don't put those limits on yourself. Look at your track record and say, you know what? I didn't have, because now we change, I don't until I didn't. Okay, I don't have this. I didn't have this, but I still overcame that. See, that's where you look at your track record instead of your lack record. I didn't have this, but I still got that. And Vanessa, I almost call her Bambi, which is her nickname, but I want y'all to know who I'm talking to. That's Vanessa. I'm going to talk about walking in faith because I'm going to talk about being an entrepreneur, which is what people are talking about when we talk about fear, stepping out in faith and walking with that faith. That's the lack record. Well, I don't have this, so I can't do that. Whether it's becoming an entrepreneur or getting a promotion at your job or getting into a relationship that you should deserve to be in. Yes, and it is amazing. It's amazing because we are. But here I am right there, okay? Because one of the things that I've gotten credit for, and this is what I call it, Bambi, here I come. I've gotten credit for, and I share with countless entrepreneurs as well, is the cliche, stepping out in faith. To step out in faith means to take a risk for God. Now you see another way to deal with that, Bambi, and anybody. To step out in faith means to take a risk for God. Now you look at that, Regina, where you say being judged by others. No, you don't worry about being judged by others. You're constantly conscious of the fact that I'm stepping out for God. So therefore, I can't worry about their judgment because God is my ultimate judge. So I'm making this move based on what God has asked me to do, okay? It's hard being quiet, but I don't want to miss what's being discussed. What you mean? Oh, you mean when you answer and it clicks you off? I hear you. Tag, Daphne. And you do, you know what? Also, Daphne, click up on your upper left on your Facebook page. Click that circle and refresh. You know, maybe your page needs to be refreshed. Try that and see what happens. Oh, because I certainly don't want to lose you either. But thank you. Thank you. So Bambi, Vanessa, so you with me on that? Yeah. You see how you said walking in faith, and I was already going to talk about stepping out in faith. And so when you're walking in faith, yes, you're taking a risk for God as well. I mean, why do you think we have so many religious persecutions throughout our history? Because of what someone believes in. And there you go, Regina, in terms of being judged. And so what you have to recognize, what we all have to recognize, is I'm not being judged. I'm being what? Opposed? Reconfigured? I don't know what to call it. But you know what? I guess I don't know what to call it because I don't care. See, your negative opinion of me is none of my business. So how you see me cannot be justified by your life. I have to see me by justifying it through my life. And that becomes the key. So what you got there, Karen? Go away thing. Go away. Here we go. All right. Okay. Karen said, this changes your whole mindset when you put him first. See, I'm glad I'm not missing some of these. Yeah, when you put God first, which PS, by the way, it's impossible not to. So you don't have to put God first. He's there. Didn't it say always? And then Roger Carroll said, God is always with me. So focus on putting you first. Let me switch to that because I've done a broadcast before about focus. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Focus on putting you first. Wait a minute. I can even put that in the chat these days. Watch out, y'all. Sporty got technology working for me now. Finding ourselves creates unlimited success. Bam! And that's what focusing is going to do. You put yourself first so that you can take care of others. So you don't have to put God first. He's there. Put you first so that you can do what God is already there. He said, look, come on up. I'm here. What you want to do? Come on up so we can do this. Put yourself first so we can take care of that person that you want to take care of, because you can't take care of them alone. You can't take care of them without my help. So yeah, you got to change your mindset. Thank you. Regina, what you saying there? Okay, Regina's saying, always folk. Oh, okay, I skipped. Regina's, okay, amen to Karen. Yep. Lots of opposition. Yes, lots of opposition. And you know what? You only need one opposing to be lots. Because as soon as one person doesn't believe in what you do, that's all it takes. Because it's the quality, not the quantity of the belief or the disbelief, of the disbelief or the belief. And what I just do there, I like to put the negative first and then finish with the positive. And in the moment I didn't, but I heard what I said, and then I reframed it to the way I believe. Hear what you say, because it makes a difference. So what did Karen say? When you're taking a risk with God, he has you covered. There's no judgment in Jesus. In fact, there is judgment in Jesus, and he has judged you as saved. Saved, all right? Okay. Oh, y'all see the comments coming so fast. I'm missing some of them, but that's good. Stepping out for God. Yeah. Taking a risk for God. That's what you have to do. Amen. All right, let's see what else we got here in your comments. Lots of opposition. What you say, Regina? Yes, Karen. And then Karen and Regina just having a conversation, and I love it. Always focus on you. And y'all ever heard me say before? I'm gonna be smooth. I'm gonna put this in. That's what I'm telling you to do. Take care of your PMS. And what's your PMS? That's your physical, mental, and spiritual self. Take care of your PMS, your physical, mental, and spiritual self. That's what Karen is saying. Always focus on you. Because when you focus on you and you put yourself first, how can you help somebody, a loved one who falls, if you don't take care of yourself physically? How can you help a loved one who needs your advice on making a life-changing decision, stepping out in faith, if you don't take care of yourself mentally? How can you trust and encourage somebody to believe in themselves when all this opposition is telling them they're wrong, if you don't take care of yourself spiritually? Take care of your PMS. God has sent you to do what you're supposed to do, and when you do it well, bam, everybody will benefit. And that's definitely a wow. Okay. Yeah. WOW, what others want. Now I just made that one up, Karen, so you my co-author on that. But wow, what others want. When people see you have something, think about it whenever you say wow, and think about it. Are you saying, look at that, which is a way of saying, I want that, or I like that. You never know. You never know, okay? Let yourself go with your vocabulary. What Regina said, my sister constantly tells me to put myself first, but it's a challenge, and it is. It is a challenge, Regina. Look at the word challenge. Now, do you like change? Do you like to go through changes? Most people say, no, I don't like change. You ask, well, do you like challenges? Yeah, I love a good challenge. Well, change is just challenge with an LLE in the middle. Look at that, CHALLENGE. And the LLE is life's learning experiences. So that's what you have to do when it's time for you to deal with change, is recognize that it's just challenge with an LLE in the middle. Oops! Okay. I was supposed to. I hit the life's learn. I hit the return bar. EXPRINCE. That's what the LLE is. So that's one of the ways you can overcome that challenge. Of putting yourself first, is recognizing that you're not changing things, but you're challenged, and it's just your experience. What is it that makes you not want to put yourself first? Okay, Karen, I don't. Okay, what you got here? Okay, slow down. Let me see that Karen's thing. Karen says, okay, if you don't care, okay, if you. Oh, I can read it right here, can I? Yes, I can. Yay, me. All right. No, I can't, because I would have to refresh that page. But what Karen is saying, that if you don't take care of yourself first, how can you take? Oh, good. You okay? Right along with what I was saying, PMS, right? And then also, what did Karen say? Allow yourself. Oh, y'all, I'm loving it. This technology is moving it now. Okay, all right. I see ahead of the game. Daphne got it figured out. Allow your opposition to be. Woo! Let your opposition be your footstool. Karen's taking over. All of you can take over if you look at your comments, but this is what we have to do. We have to touch and agree. We're touching on screen right now. Let your opposition be your footstool. Why? Well, where'd you hear that? You made that up? No. The Lord will prepare a table, a banquet before my enemies. For me. Amen. And then we get to say what? Thank you, which is the same as amen. Okay, say it. Yes, this is what we do. We rocking, y'all. We rocking. And you know what, Regina? I got to put that up there. Because you know what? That's what we have to recognize, y'all. So many things we do are good. We can look at as, let me think about, as, this is good. On Mondays, catch my the Monday morning moment. Catch that little inspirational message on Monday and get your day started and definitely get your week going. And there we go. Daphne giving me some technology catch. You always remember, just refresh your page. And a lot of times that'll be what to happen. Okay, Karen's got a long one here. If you don't take care of yourself, you'll find yourself falling into their negativity. Look at the pronoun switch. If you don't take care of yourself, you will find yourself falling into their negativity and carrying their burdens when you are supposed to be taking care of your PMS. See, Karen, you're going to be my co-author right now. All right. So look at the pronoun switch. There versus you. And Karen, and just like I said to Bambi, you can't make this stuff up. I got it coming up in my broadcast already. I'm going to go through some comments before I move on to it. Karen is the valedictorian today. All right, Regina. Yeah, this is good. Yeah, because why? Because if you take an O out of good, what you got? And it don't matter which O you use, but if you take an O out of good, you got God. So yeah, this is always good. And it's always good to give thanks. To give thanks, all right? And you can't wait, Karen. Well, you ain't got to wait long because it's... Karen valedictorian did the math already, y'all. She got hooked on phonics with us. Okay, let me roll then because this is good. Okay, so what was the last thing I said? To step out on faith means to take a risk for God, knowing that He is going to catch you and be there with you if anything should happen. Would you say, Roger Carroll? He is always with me. He is always. And that's the reason that I titled this glue as Refreshed by Fear. Because I chose to go and refuel my track record. The stuff that we're talking about, I chose to fuel my track record of storms by defining fear as F-E-A-R. Faith eventually attracts resources. Faith eventually attracts resources. You see, and now, Bambi, this is what I was talking about. Let me look at a couple comments and then I'm going to move on. This is true. God's got us. Okay, this is so true. That's just, see, I'm defining for you, Regina. This is so true. God's got us. He has already gotten to tomorrow, which is why I say, yeah, forget about that yesterday. You on yesterday. God is already working on your tomorrow. When? Today. And I like that. Yeah, see, that's like, wow, what others want. I got to remember that. Somebody put that in there for me, remember? But anyway, check this out. Bambi, talking about walking in faith. Entrepreneur, talking about stepping out in faith. When I left corporate America to pursue my speaking gift through the use of poetry, I had already overcome numerous unconscious storms in my life. Entrepreneurship helped me see and credit myself for my resilience. So when they came and repossessed their car, I went back in the house and sat on my couch and pointed to my TV, my stereo, my curtains, and I laughed about my list of ownership as I thank God for how I was starting to see how He was using me. And you know what? And that's a wow right there. Because I was even asking myself, what are you doing? I had an out about it by the experience. I'm like, this is how I felt, y'all, when they came for their car. That's what it's called, repossessed, which means I never really possessed it. They have all, the car company, if you've got a car note, they possess the car. It's not yours. So therefore, for them to repossess it is to put it back in the hands of who really owns it until you have paid it off. So when they took their car, I didn't stress over, oh my God, they took my car. It wasn't mine. So I went and sat down on my couch. This is that pronoun switch I talked about earlier. I sat down on my couch. I pointed to my TV. I pointed to my curtains. I pointed to my stereo. And then I made a list. And I call it my ownership list. As I thanked God, I said, God, thank you for me having all these things. And in my mind, I was like, what are you doing, fool? And I said, but God, look how you're using me. And I'm still like, what are you doing, fool? because I didn't know that my faith was that strong. And that's why I say, as in retrospect, being an entrepreneur helped me step out and see just how much I had really done. What you say, Regina? I walk through my home and I'm okay with what I have, but if I lose it all, I'm okay with it being gone, right? Because these are material things. What did Jesus say? In my house, I have stored up many blessings for you. All this furniture and stuff, you're not taking it with you. They won't even cremate that stuff with you. You ain't never seen it at a funeral either in the casket. Okay, so that was my car. That was the repossession. Then, when they foreclosed on their house, I thank God for how I wasn't kicked out in the street with my ownership list in December in Chicago, because that's when they foreclosed on their house. And I didn't get kicked out in the streets. Okay? Instead, I was given time to search, find an apartment, sign a lease, and I was able to move stuff from the house to the apartment over the course, of 2 weeks and sleep in whichever one I chose. So I would pack some boxes in the house, take it over to the apartment, unpack the boxes and put stuff where it was going to be, take those empty boxes with me back to the house, pack them, go to sleep. Next day, take those boxes, go to the new apartment, unpack them, put them where they were going to be. Maybe I'll sleep here tonight, and then the next morning I'll go back to the house, pack over 2 weeks. So I didn't do it every day. I chilled out as well, okay? So Regina said, yeah, you can't even take the flowers with you. And what Bambi said, you got to tell your story. That's why we got to share. So entrepreneurs, yeah, this is what I did. So that was the repossession. That was the housing foreclosure. And while I filed bankruptcy during all of this process that was going on, look at Daphne. Don't stress. Refresh. See, now you got a new line there. See, that's the thing. We come on here and we get some new lines. And Regina's stories are so legendary and inspiring. Thank you. And it's because we're in the story. As I downsize the move, I'm constantly reminded stuff is not important. Yeah, you gotta get rid of some stuff. You gotta purge as you leave. You gotta purge as what do I really need to take this? And it's tough because I don't care what they got to show about hoarders. All of us are hoarders in some way because they're memories, y'all. Don't get so fast to throw stuff away that you throwing away a memory. It's not easy to let something go when maybe it's the last thing you got from a person who then is no longer in your life, whether it's through them dying or through them just not being in your life anymore. Maybe you lost their contact number. Maybe y'all are no longer friends. Whatever it is, there's something that, but this part is something that I want to keep. So don't beat yourself up and think, oh, I'm a hoarder. No, you have the right to choose your memories, and that's what I would call it. And yes, we are definitely glad to have Daphne here. And Daphne, I got it. If you got it before, you can get it again. Right? Karen, yeah, that's what purging is all about. If you did it before, you can do it again. Regina, I have purged people. See, that's what I'm saying. You have to purge people, and I call it putting them on pause. Sometimes you have to put them out for a little while, and then maybe you bring them back in. Because we don't all grow at the same rate. You outgrow some of your friends based on what's happening in that LLE, Regina, your life's learning experiences. See, you had this happen to you. So now you can no longer participate when your friends decide that this is something we want to make a joke of. That's what we all do. And then now, Regina, that judgment. See, that's what I'm saying. It's not judgmental. It's experiential. So based on what's going on in your life, you will equate that to where somebody else should be or could be in your life. And watch that come up in a minute too. When you fall, get up stronger. And let me add this, Bambi. When you fall, sometimes don't get up right away. Get up stronger. Sometimes stay down there. Stay down there and relax and think about, why did I fall? What part did I play in this fall? Now, what do I have to do? I felt I was conquered, defeated, subdued. Yeah, that's why I fell. So what do I have to do to not fall this way again? Because you're going to fall another way. But what do I have to do to get rid of this and put this in my track record of storms rather than empower it as my lack record of limitations that Karen has shown us that we have to do. So let me go back to the final stage, and that is the bankruptcy. When I filed bankruptcy during this process, I started to see how I was being seen through the eyes of others, Regina. I started to see how I was being through the eyes of others. And here's what happened. Once I started to show how much I believed in myself, their shock was turning to smiles. Their questions were turning to statements. Their caution was turning to cheers. And their seeing my faith was turning to being worthy of their support. Faith eventually attracts resources. And here's what the questions were. You overcome fear by going within. And look at this. Here we go, Regina. And I reflect quite often on falling. Yeah, but guess what? Make sure that you think about falling into God's good grace as well. Don't always think that a fall is a bad thing. Sometimes a fall, don't you go, you know what I want y'all to do today? When you go in your bedroom, fall back on your bed. Right? You know what? Don't let fall be a bad thing. Go back and fall back onto your bed and the comfort of feeling that you got caught. Because that's what it's about. Think about the Olympics. You have to fall and you're going to get caught. What is that? That's trust. That's trust. Okay? And let you say, baby, when you fall, you're looking up. And guess what? When you choose to fall, you can choose to look up. You can choose to fall looking down. You can choose to fall sideways. But you can make a choice. And that's what you want to do. And yes, it is powerful because we have to give ourselves power, but we have to harness it. We have to harness it. There's a reason for the falling always. And so when you say that you always think about falling, and I think we should, but look at that. When I decided to step out in faith, some people were shocked. Why would you do that? And then after a while they said, oh, now I see. Well, I'm coming to that. Watch me come to that. See? Okay, let me see what you say. God closes doors to keep you safe and from harm and let you fall back. I like that. Yeah, that's right. You can fall back. Yeah, you can fall back doesn't mean falling back. It means fall back into God's good grace. Let me stop and see what Karen said, the valedictorian. One thing I learned, and it's in the Bible, you can tell a tree by the fruit it bears. Fruit of your tongue is a great one because it's hard to tame. If they didn't purge, they will not change. Why keep sticking your hand in the fire with these types of people? And again, we write it all the time. But I did a post on my y'all let me promote all my stuff on my Friday broadcast. It's called Gift Friday, where I will read one of my poetic messages and let that be my gift to you. But I tell you how to use it in your life or in your presentation. And this is what Karen just talked about. I talked about 2 weeks ago, I think it was 2 weeks ago, or maybe it was last week, and it was called, but can you throw the second stone? Because so often we hear people talk about, well, I got to get rid of negative people, and blah, blah, blah. And then they say, nah, but they're family. Oh, but we've been together so long. Oh, well, we grew up. And see, they make an excuse for not doing what Karen just said. They don't, and what Regina was talking about doing, they don't purge. They come up with a reason not to purge, even though these people have not tamed their tongues around us. Even though we keep sticking our hand in the fire, we decide to come up with a reason so that we don't have to purge this person. But we can strongly post all these things that we want, but we don't have to purge this person. So yeah, when you write that, write it and then read it and then see if you believe it, okay? And Karen, make sure you tag me, okay? Good. Yeah, see, that's the family, getting it together, family. And what you saying one more time, valedictorian? Thanks, Regina. And then what you say, Bambi? Because doesn't matter, family or friends. It doesn't. It doesn't. I was speaking in, where was I? I was speaking in Baton Rouge, Louisiana last weekend. And I was talking about how you have to understand and control your anger. And I talked about this same thing, about how we talk about, purging people, but then we come up with excuses. You know what? family, and I agree, family is beautiful, family is anything, but you choose your friends. You don't choose your family. You have a genetic connection to them, and they are other people that may or may not have things in common with you that you should have, as you mature, the right to decide, I don't want this person in my life. See, negativity is not a bad person, it's a vibe. And sometimes actually people can be negative when they have your best interest at heart. Why? Because we go all the way back to the beginning of this, because they are afraid, and so therefore they won't encourage you. See, it's not always about someone being bad to you. And even when I did that post on Gift Friday about, and yes, I did record it. I record, they're all on there. And I'm going to I'll do a commercial. You can always subscribe to my YouTube channel, or don't subscribe, just go there, and all of my posts are synchronous in order. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday. So you can go through that, or you can click on which list they're on, which playlist. You can just watch my Monday broadcast, just my Wednesday, or just my Friday, all on YouTube and in order. They're all here on Facebook or LinkedIn as well, but they're not in order because what? You got posts in between them, okay? So that's the key. So yeah, it doesn't matter whether they're friends or family. You have to make a decision about what's best for you. Had a long conversation about making excuses for their behaviors. Yeah. And it's tough. I'm not saying it's easy, y'all, but it's a tough decision because we go back to what we said earlier. You got to take care of you. Because see, once you keep that relationship, whatever it is in your life, it affects somebody else in your life. And so, it could be a bias that you have. So, you got to do it all. Knowing someone by their fruit means that I know the first time when I've been burned, no second chances. Look at you. When you go back to my Gift Friday, and Roger Carroll, you were on there, I had a picture of Oprah and Maya Angelou, where it says, and that quote so many of us know from Maya Angelou, and that is, when someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time. I got that on there. And so, so when they show you the fruit, you got to make a decision. Not easy, y'all. Not easy. Just what you got to do, okay? So, what you say? Did you... okay, I answered that already. You recorded it, and Roger Carroll was right. Okay, man, we going so fast. I'm getting ready to end this thing here coming up. Roger Carroll, you are very strong, very much stronger than me. and you good. Thank you, Regina, because that is not important. Roger Carroll is stronger than you. I'm stronger than Roger Carroll. Karen is stronger than me. Daphne is stronger than Karen. Who cares? None of us are really stronger than the other. Each of us has different experiences that impact our strength or our appearance of strength. See, if I got... Regina, I'm not going to use you and Roger Carroll since you wrote that. Regina, you may have 20 things on your plate, and Roger Carroll has 5. So why do you decide? Why should she get? Oh, look at her, she's much stronger. No, she has less things to think about. And true, quantity is not as important as quality, but all things the same. So her 5 challenges are the same of 5 of your 20. You got 15 more. So it can look like you're not as strong, but that's not the case. It's the LLE. It's the life learning experiences. So yes, you have to do what you talked about earlier, and that is you have to decide, I'm not going to judge myself against someone else and I do this with my military members all the time, because I'm talking to them about coming back from deployment. You cannot judge your deployment reintegration based on your battle buddies, because they may be readjusting quicker than you, and so therefore you got to let that go. God has given you to be you. We're going to move on, and I'm going to get ready to close all of this out, okay? And then I got a comment that y'all don't see on Facebook, but it's on my YouTube, and it's in a foreign language, so I can't really tell you what it says. But that's, that's part of the good technology that I'm having fun with, okay? And what you say, Karen? Thank you for this. For so many years, I always put people in front of myself, in front of me. I have to be something to myself. Yes and yes. Here's why. Putting people in front of you, I say put yourself first, but sometimes just reframe, put someone in front so you can see who you're dealing with. And then you can decide, what Jesus said, Satan, get behind me. So sometimes you do have to put them in front. See, there's so many things in this grown-up stuff that we have to think about. So think that you said it, Karen. Your words are powerful. Think about what your words say. Sometimes you do have to put people in front of you so that you can see what you're dealing with. And she has the strength to cut people off because of them burning her. Yeah, okay, yeah. But you know what? They might be not as close to her as the people that you are having challenges cutting off. And it's not about Regina and Roger Carroll. It's about Regina and Regina. It's about me and me. I don't care how someone else is doing something. I got to focus on how I do it. And I see how they do it. Remember, that's a course of action, not a statement of being. Y'all can go back and see that slide. That's a course of action. That's they are cutting people off. It's not that I can't do it. I don't have the same people. And then you don't know how, one more comparison, the people you trying to purge and cut off keep coming back. Maybe the ones that she doesn't, take it and leave. You never know. It all depends on who you're dealing with. Okay, I'm a zip because we're right at the end. Thank y'all so much. But as we said, okay, you overcome fear by going within. When I showed how much I believed in what I was doing, it became easier for others to believe in, guess what? What they were doing. Because questioning my actions provided a blueprint for theirs. See, so they said, how could he? Why would he do that? And that became, I see why he did that. See, my actions became their blueprint. How could he do that? Became, I see why he do that. And how could he? When should he? Where does he? Who does he? Became Psalm 46, 1 and 2 with a twist to it. Remember earlier we said God is, our refuge and strength? Here's the twist. God is my refuge and strength, always ready to help in times of trouble. So I will not fear, even if earthquakes come and the mountains crumble into the sea. It's the pronoun switch, y'all. You got to switch the pronouns to give yourself power. And that's why I recognize that I am refreshed by fear. And the full sentence becomes, I am refreshed by the fact that faith eventually attracts resources. Let me see some comments before I go. We got a yes in there. Put someone in front of you so that you can see who you're dealing with. And thank you, Regina. Yeah. And I never said that one before. But that's the thing. Once you got your spirit going in God, like I said, I like to live by the Moses principle, where God says, get there, I'll tell you what to say. It's just like when people say, I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say. I say, yeah, me too. Because I know what I come to talk about, I don't always know what I'm going to say. And I have learned, just like with the repossession, with the foreclosure, with the bankruptcy, I have learned to recognize, look at what God is doing with my life. And I don't lord that over anybody. I am so humbled and appreciative of what God is doing in my life. I can't do anything but be excited about sharing it. And I don't have to worry about saying, that's mine. I want somebody, yeah, that was yours. You my co-author, my valedictorian. That was good. That's right. And that's God giving you the words every single time. Every single time. So be refreshed. I'm refreshed by the fact that faith eventually attracts resources. And I'm Sporty King. This year I want to always remind you, commit your spirit to constantly seek ways, things and reasons to be thankful. Okay, constantly seek those ways. I thank you for watching, engaging. Thank you for the comments in the thread. And if you're watching the video, please feel free to put yours in there. And engaging and then sharing Glue Wednesday. Remember, we don't have to hump as much as we need to keep it together. Because that is really what it's about. I'm Sporty King. And this is what I was saying to you earlier, Karen. See my commercial that I have at the end. But I'm going to read the commercial just because you said it in advance. Be sure to catch this and always any of my broadcasts live by subscribing to my YouTube channel where they'll line up easier. And my final belief, wearing a mask is a good precautionary step to take to help us continue to make gains in the war on the pandemic. Thank you, Karen, valedictorian. Thank you, Karen, for will doing. And thank you all. This was fun. The funny thing is, I saw the comments come quicker live, but it's still, you know, I have to read. No, I think, and you know what? I will continue to do it this way, because what I was about to say is that I still couldn't answer them as fast. But at least this helped me stop and pause while it was happening, and instead of sometimes going on with what I was saying. So thank you. So yeah, the new technology worked. And man, I'm so glad Haas is back. Yay, good to see you again. Oh man, that's Jose. I call him Haas. Let me see if I can get his click. Thanks, be safe and stay alert, family. For some reason that one's not coming up, Haas, on my things here. Oh well. Okay, but y'all see it on your screen. Oh, maybe he's not on Facebook when he says that. Interesting. Okay. Karen. Oh, Jose, you do. Regina, Jose, Roger, Carol, thank you. Thank y'all all for joining me. Amen. Woo! We did it again. Over and out. Ciao.